In this episode of True Reflections, you're going to hear about self-harm. If you're affected by what you hear, please visit www.thesamaritans.org or call them on 116 123. If you're triggered by today's episode, please listen to another episode in the True Reflections library. Hi, I'm Gia, and I've been a celebrity makeup artist for the past 20 years. I'm fascinated by the power of makeup and the politics of beauty. On True Reflections, you get to peek behind the curtain and find out what your favourite celebrity really feels about their appearance when the glare of the media is upon them. So who is with me today? My guest today is a beauty expert, the founder of Isle of Paradise Tanning, a body confidence advocate, and the second man to appear on my beauty podcast. So please welcome to True Reflections as he releases his new book, The Confidence Ritual. It's Jules Von Hep.
Thank you so much. I need to know who was the first man.
The first man was a comedian called Milo. And I'm going to see his comedy in a few weeks. So it was very amusing.
I hope he was a great warm-up for me, but here I am, second.
He was a warm-up. I love your new book. And I've read so many parts of it, and it's really inspiring. And I'm really looking forward to sort of diving into it. But how people would know you is, first of all, from your sort of tanning experience, but also someone who's a really sort of body confidence advocate. And the book is all about a toolkit on how to feel inside and outside, but most importantly on the inside, feeling more confident. You haven't always felt that way.
No. Oh my gosh, I've been on an absolute journey.
Tell me about your journey.
I fell into spray tanning. It was not a career that I thought I was destined for. It was not something that my careers advisor was like, I think you'll be a great spray tanner. But it was, I believe, the career that actually saved my life. I hated my body for 20 years of my life, and working with naked bodies as a spray tanner, and I'm sure we're going to dive into the ins and outs of being a spray tanner, and being around nudity actually showed me this whole other landscape of how people, whether they're in the public eye or not, how people view their own bodies. From that, I then went on an inner journey and began working on myself, saying nice things to myself, and I realized that life is way too short to hate how you look. There's so much more going on. And as Isle of Paradise launched, I'm no longer with the brand now, but at the time, I really wanted to be an authentic, fun, truthful, relatable founder. And the brand was all about body confidence and inclusivity. And I thought, I need to start sharing my own journey. So I opened up on social media. I went on the journey publicly of going from hating myself to loving myself. And all the tips and tricks that I learned along the way are in that book.
It is amazing. And I've really enjoyed looking at your Instagram feed, because I didn't, before you came in, I didn't know a lot about you. And I was like, brilliant, I'm going to really dive into this person.
It's a lot of nipples, isn't it? Sorry.
But it's really lovely. And I like the fact you stand there and you literally hold your waist and you go, I haven't always loved this part of me. But then you do other bits where you're just hilariously funny and you make me laugh, and there's that humanity. And I think it's so important for all of us, and that's why I do this podcast, is because we all have this battle. And when you've got people who are out there who are just talking in a truthful way and being honest and authentic, it really lifts your spirits, because you go, thank God there's someone out there who's equally just being real. And that makes you feel, it warms your soul, it warms the sort of sense of the humanity. And I think it's really beautiful that you're doing this. But when you were younger, why do you think you felt so not confident about how you looked?
Oh God, it's so layered. I'd been a child, my grandma would pay me to lose weight. She obviously comes from, that was like wartime, and it was all very diet culture, but she would pay me £1 for every pound that I lost.
Wow.
Then going into senior school and having to work out, okay, I'm gay, but everyone else is straight, and placing a lot of my worth based on the aesthetic and if boys fancied me or not. And then that led me down the route of self-harming. I was suicidal at 18. And then when I went to university, I started to make friends truly for the first time. but I was so unconfident that I would put myself in these really dangerous situations because I didn't have any respect for myself. I didn't show myself respect and honoring and love. And then that actually was detrimental to where I was at that time. I think that we all carry these things and these burdens along our way, whether it's a comment that someone said to you, whether it's being in a fitting room and a clothes not like fitting properly, something that you've gone through in a relationship. We all have our burdens to bear. And the baggage in the back is always full. But whether you shove those things to the bottom of the chest or whether you deal with them head on, actually, I've learned has a massive knock-on effect to how you are and how you present yourself and how you live your life. And you mentioned that I show up online authentically. I think it's because I have seen how utterly exhausting it is to not be your authentic self and to not connect with who you truly are on the inside, trying to be someone who you think you should be versus trying to be someone who you know deep down you are. They're two very different paths, and people might think they're the same, but one is tiring, exhausting, and you'll never reach a place of happiness, and the other one is incredibly fulfilling, difficult, but ultimately that's where the real glow comes from. And I think after years of working with celebrities, you know, I'm not just any old spray tanner. I'm probably the most successful spray tanner in the world. I have seen people who you would think are the most confident people ever, and they're probably the most miserable. I've seen people with more money than sense, probably the most miserable. And actually, I realized that gratitude, kindness, being true to who you are, being authentic, actually that really makes you a lot happier. And I think that we pretend life is this infinite resource that when we die, it's going to be like, okay, we're going to do the whole thing again if you want to. Like, that was a great dress rehearsal, but it's not. This is it. It's happening right now. So you have the choice whether you want to live a confident, happy, glowy lifestyle or if you want to stay stuck.
I think what's so interesting is young people, it's that body confidence. Women in particular, when they hit early teens, they fall off a cliff with confidence, they stop exercising, they all the things that can make you feel good about yourself. And I don't think, I'm older than you, but I don't think for a very long time in education, there's much there to make people feel great about themselves. And if you don't have the right community and people, they're not probably being mean always, people who, what they're saying, they're not realizing what they're saying. If you don't have the right sort of toolkit, your book, you know, if you'd had that toolkit and someone there to tell you about that when you were younger, the journey could have been different.
Well, I mean, I wrote that book and a lot of the things that I do online are ultimately to be the person that I didn't have to look up to. And I wrote this essentially for past me because I receive hundreds of DMs a week about people being on their journey. I posted something yesterday about just go to a restaurant and enjoy the food and don't worry about the calories and don't worry about what you're wearing and don't worry about who's there and what restaurant it is and are you in this cool place. Actually just focus on the human connection and the very present and where you are right now. The DMs were crazy about people saying, I'm really stressed about going to a restaurant and I'm researching the calories of what's in food. What? There's more to life than that.
Was it the Bill Granger place?
Yeah,
I recognised it.
Love Bill Granger. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. You can do gorgeous things, darling. But I think that there's also an air of recognising that everyone is carrying their stuff. And in the teenage years, like you mentioned about everyone going through that state of trying to work out who you are, what you are, how your body appears. If your parents and the people around you haven't worked through their stuff, well, what happens there? It gets projected down and that then becomes the individual's reality. So there's also an element of navigating the world around you. My grandma paid me £1 for every pound I lost. She wasn't doing it to be mean. She just didn't know any different because that's probably what her mum did to her.
That's how she's conditioned, how she's programmed.
And so I'm not angry with the past things that happened. There is a complete forgiveness because this is unknotting a history of society that is so based on aesthetic. And even though this is a beauty podcast, actually your aesthetic is the least interesting thing about yourself. It's how you wear the makeup, how you wear the tan, how you stand up and live your best life. The makeup doesn't wear you. Tan as a concept, and even now when people say, oh, what do you do? And I say, well, I used to be a spray tanner. I get this, there's either like a half laugh or an eye roll, like it's not a serious job.
Yeah.
And I'd say to them, it's not like Ross from Friends and it's not like Towie. TV twisted it to make it funny. Actually, a spray tan, and if you've never had one, I urge you to do so, is the most liberating thing, because makeup comes off, hair goes up, jewelry comes off, fragrance comes off, deodorant, usually knickers. You are bearing all, but not in an intimate situation. It's with a stranger, and the treatment is top to toe, front to back, everything. And you look like you've been on holiday within 8 hours. What that does to your confidence is another level. And being an expert and being able to give that confidence, whether it was for celebrities on red carpets, or I worked on Strictly for 3 years. Before that, did X Factor. Used to fly around the world doing spray tans, or it's for weddings or 40th or special occasions. That cloak of confidence and being able to do that for an individual was an honor, was an absolute honor. And beauty is such a secret weapon when it's used right.
I love that. That is 100% right. It is a secret weapon when used right.
Yeah, but you have to learn how to glow on the inside first. If you're doing it to conceal and hide and change your silhouette, not for the better, because you want to look like something else, you're using it in the wrong way. It's almost like magic. You're using magic in the wrong way, and it's dark magic. But if you're using it for the good and for the better, and you are using your body and face as this canvas of celebration, oh my God, it's the only way is up, honey.
That's absolutely beautiful way of putting it. And it's like you've got the light and the dark in beauty. And going down the dark route is when you haven't done the work, when you're not feeling good inside. And it is your camouflage. But if you the white light, if the good light of the goodness, the happy fairy, the good fairy of beauty, that when it's combined with the work inside, that is when it's sort of literally an energy. You walked in today when I saw you, and I got the wrong name. I called you Mick Hucknall rather than Michael Hutchins.
Yeah.
You're looking very handsome. And it's an energy you bring when you meet someone. And there is a thing. We've met and worked with lots of different celebrities, and often some of them have got this phenomenal energy about them that's way more than just, oh, their skin's nice, or it's way more than they've got a good hair. Because I love how you've structured the book, because you don't talk about just appearance or just confidence as a sort of esoteric thought. You've got your glow up is the appearance. Then you've got the mental side, then the spiritual side. And I love how you cover all of those. Talk me through the sort of thinking of why you've sort of structured it as you have, and what the different sections of the book mean and are about.
It was really interesting writing that section, because the word glow, I mean, having worked in the beauty industry for 20 years and being an expert, glow is just this word that gets battered around. But I really wanted to reframe that word and take it off the marketing shelves and off the email send-outs and the Christmas mailers, and actually package it in a way that it's all about the inside. And I think the term I'm on a glow up, I've had a glow up, actually, what does that mean? Yes, we can go to the salon. Yes, you can get your lashes tinted or have a spray tan or do whatever, but that's all surface. Then you have mental glow up, which is about recognizing your mental health maybe needs to take priority. Are you holding on to things that you aren't releasing? Is that thing that you're holding on to actually knotting itself within you? And even though you're doing all the contouring in the world, actually you can still see through it all because you haven't released what needs releasing. And then spiritual glow up, and this is working with whatever way you want to work with that connects you to something higher. even if you are a scientist and you don't believe in anything outside of what is factually right here, right now, there is still the element that you can take a philosophical approach of, well, I know my life's going to end, so am I going to appreciate it? Or you can be like me, full woo, crystal sage, under the full moon, moon bathing. You can go whichever way you want to go, but that is the full 3 layers of a glow up.
Yeah.
And I wanted to write this book in a really practical way. I wanted to show that there's so much noise out there when it comes to confidence and glowing and being the best version of you that it's quite difficult to know what to trust, where to start. And it can feel confusing.
But your stuff in here is just really beautifully, there's so many charming little moments in
It's
it.
practical and there's nuggets of information, and it's from someone who, I have been on the journey. So this is actually what I've learned that's helped me. And B, it's what I've observed from other people. And I've had this career where I've been behind the curtain and seen all different walks of life and how they are when the camera's not on them, or when they're not with their families, or they're away and they're working, everything. And it gave me such a unique perception.
So if there's one, it's going to be a hard question. If there's one thing in here that if I'm going to walk away today, I've had a few things this morning that have annoyed me slightly. One thing I can walk away with today that you would say, this is probably my biggest principle. What could you say that could be?
Usually, I would say it's really important to remember that life is way too short to hate how you look. But I think bigger picture, realize that tomorrow is a new day. And if something trips you up today, the sun rises, the moon comes up, the sun, it's just a cycle. And you have the choice to really get to the reins and take control. The situation doesn't need to change, but how you view it does. So if someone's pissed you off, if something's getting you down, if something's really knotting you up, you've got 2 choices. You can either receive that, let that change who you are and negatively affect you, or you can choose not to.
I love the fact that you do these workshops as well. I mean, is that a full day? Is it a couple of days? How does that...
So the workshop started when I was at Isle of Paradise, and I started doing them with consumers because I wanted to show that the brand had authenticity and that we were all about body confidence and that it was something that I practiced, what I preached. But since exiting, it's actually something that I really missed, and I wanted to hone in on that more. So I trained in sound healing earlier this year, and now I open and close workshops with sound healing because I'm a huge believer that sound is an amazing opener and resetter
I love a
and
sound
closer.
bath.
Oh, it's incredible. And having trained in it, I now am even more obsessed than ever before. But the workshops really, because I think everything that we do is so scroll, online, tapping, clicking, etc. One thing the tech can't cheat is human connection. And I think to show up, and most people come to these workshops alone, to show up on your own and paying huge respect to yourself that you want to better yourself on that journey, how empowering, how powerful. And the book is almost like the start point to where everything else is going.
handbook.
Yeah.
And how often do you do, where can we find out about your...
I always promote them on Instagram. I have a season getting ready to launch in January.
Great.
And then next year, all over.
Okay, I need to look those up because I like going to that human stuff, because I think a book is a really good starting point. When I went to this Buddhist retreat thing recently, the monk, I read his book, really empowered. Then you go and it gets deeper because you're in person. So like with your book, reading it, then go and see you. I think that's a really nice way because then it embeds it more. The teachings are more embedded. So
Did not think I'd be getting career coaching here. Thank you so much. Love.
No, but I think
I really received that. And I was like, yeah, that's actually really true. Who's this Buddhist? I need to find it.
Yeah, no, but it was good. Yeah. But it was like that second, it's that sort of double whammy. It's really good. But going back to the sort of the tanning world and stuff. So Isle of Paradise. I mean, I have my own makeup brand. It is, it's not for the faint-hearted.
No.
Why, you started it for body confidence. how was that journey run,
Well, I actually started it because there was a point on Strictly where I was working backstage and all the time, and I got booked by Lisa Armstrong on Strictly because
she's the makeup
she's the
head.
head of makeup, and she had said the show is just known for orange tans. That's all anyone is writing about, and it was. And I said, well, look, I don't do orange tans. I color correct backstage. I will change it for studio lights. I'm not just a spray tanner. I'm a spray tanner that has grown career-wise backstage. I work with studio lights. I know how to counteract these orange tones. So I did that for 3 years, but my kit was massive, like cases of product, because you've got every skin type, every body type,
You've
different
got to
people.
get violet. You've got to get blue
Oh
undertones.
my God,
you've got all the different undertones.
I was like an alchemist backstage. And then I did an interview with Vogue, and Vogue said, if you need an amazing spray tanner, this is the spray tanner that is being flown around the world doing Fashion Week, red carpet, yada yada. And I read it, and then literally was like, God, if I'm supposed to be the best spray tanner in the world and I've got 12 cases full of products, well, how is anyone supposed to get a great tan for a Saturday night out? And that's really what tan has always been to me. I think the tanning industry tries to make it this luxury, polished affair. No, tan is rough and ready, and it is a weapon. And you need good product that's not expensive, and it's going to do what it says it's going to do. So that's kind of how Isle of Paradise started. And then once we got the formulations, then it was thinking about the brand. And that's when I wanted it to be this inclusive, body confident, changing the way that beauty speaks to consumers. And I do think that wave of messaging did change when Isle of Paradise launched. I think, unfortunately, the beauty industry is leaning towards going back to what it was, which is all about marketing towards insecurities, fixing problems that don't exist, rather than selling product on empowerment.
I think it just works. It works the human psychology and the studies.
But I hate that.
I
hate that.
Fear motivates more than embracing it, because you have to do the work to feel good about yourself, to put a tan on, to have that message takes longer to sell in than having a really simple, do you feel horrible about yourself? If you put this tan on, you feel better.
There is nothing more cost effective than making peace with your appearance and realizing that no product, no brand can give you what you need because you no longer need it.
So you are no longer with Isle of Paradise.
No.
You've left.
Yes.
Do you talk about that, about why you left, or?
I left. We sold the business in 2020. So I could have left then. But I chose to stay on because it was a joy building that brand, and it was so amazing to watch it flourish and really grow globally. But it got towards the end where I just didn't really recognize myself anymore. I'm from backstage, I'm not from boardroom, and living that boardroom life, I just wasn't receiving my most authentic self. And it was hard, it was gritty, and it was a difficult decision to make. But I know that I'm not on this earth to sell product. I'm on this earth to help other people. And I had to really hone into that.
Because when I have my brand, and I also help a wonderful Jimmy Coco, who tans from LA, and he does the Kardashians and stuff. And it's hard. You aren't connecting with people. Well, I love going to do makeup or tanning people because I love being with a person and making them feel good. Whereas when you're sitting looking at profit and loss and manufacturers and compatibility of package, oh god, you're not really, the joy is not there.
It is amazing. It's an amazing experience to have, but I just felt like I wanted to do something different. And there is an element of where I am right now is back at the beginning and hustling again, but it's fun and I'm enjoying it. And I saw Jamie Oliver last week, actually. I was interviewing him for something, and I said, you're one of the reasons why I left IOP, because you said to me, there's great joy in the discomfort, and in discomfort comes creativity and then comes drive. And I just thought, I'm not in the right place at that very moment. And so that was when the ball and the wheel started to move.
So would you like to go, how do you find the tans now? You're not doing them on Strictly, because obviously it's the height
I
of
can't watch
Strictly.
Strictly. I can't watch it. I'm good friends with Claudia Winkleman still. But when I hear the theme tune, even now, the hairs on the back of my neck rise, because Strictly is a crash course, and an amazing crash course. That show is incredible.
Well, backstage.
Yeah, oh my gosh, it's amazing. And it was the best thing I ever did in my career, because it taught me so much about tan and about skin tones and body shapes. But yeah, I can't watch it now.
And so you don't know how orange they're looking, so you can't sit there and go, oh, who are they using?
Well, that's it. If I watch it, I will be looking with a very critical eye, and I'm like, I know too many. I know too many things.
Would you ever, if they asked you to go back and...
I'd go back as a contestant, but I wouldn't go back and do spray tans, no, but I would love to do maybe a weekend in the makeup room. That place is amazing.
There's something about that backstage. I've done like some fashion shows, etc. And there is something beautiful being backstage. And you get to see this sort of conveyor belt of all these different celebrities, as you say, and it's that seeing the real person, which actually is so beautiful.
But also in backstage life is where I have this thing where beauty experts aren't given the platform that they should be. Now there are people online talking about beauty products and talking about applying them, and you can watch the videos and you think, you've definitely not been trained. You definitely have not been trained in makeup application or beauty, and the way I can tell, because it's the way that you're layering those products, the way you're moving your fingers around that face. And backstage, there is this wonderful place of mixing formulations, of playing, of creating looks and products that you can't get on the shelves, because you're pulling all the best from everything. And then when makeup artists or experts then decide to make product, it's because they've already been making that look from other things backstage and then creating the final look. So
that's like Charlotte Tilbury's Magic Cream.
Yeah,
she had all her little things together. When I'm putting makeup, people say, what do you use? I'm like, well I just mix. I never use one foundation.
I use all of it.
I'm always mixing a few together, and I add a bit of highlighter and I add a bit of this, and I'm like, oh, and that means, and it's kind of like, you don't even think, it becomes second nature, and it's really hard to explain that sometimes to people. But I think, I think it's great, that whole backstage feeling, and I would love to see you sort of tanning again somewhere and seeing the magic that you can put. But
I know I would love to do tans again, and sound healing is actually really similar to tanning. I never thought it would be, but it's so similar in the fact that you're holding such a space for a client. Yeah.
Well, I think I love that soundbar. I'd like to. I want to sign up. I would love to come to one of your courses.
Okay, well, I'll keep you posted.
I would absolutely love to do it. But Jules, thank you so much for coming in today. And your book, The Confidence Ritual, is out to buy now. If you're affected by what you heard on today's episode, please visit thesamaritans.org or call them on 116-123. That's it for True Reflections this week. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe wherever you're watching or listening. You can find me across your social media by searching @True Reflections Podcast. I'll be back next week with another celebrity to talk through their beauty experiences, their favourite products, and delve deeper into how the ideals of beauty shapes not just our physical appearance, but the core of our identities. Until then, have a lovely week.